Guten Tag, Kommandant. Jawohl, guten Tag. The Americans, they have given us the new tank. What new tank have the Americans given us? They have given us the M41 Bulldog. Oh nein, 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 nein. Nicht the M41 Bulldog is a scheiße tank with a scheiße gun. But we could maybe put shorter gun, but a bigger and better gun. Ah ja, gute Idee. Make new better gun and make a not more scheiße tank. Ja, ja, and let's make it black. Ja, because we know every tank is better when it's black. Ja, very good tank. Ja, 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 ja. Yes. Okay, hi guys. After this absolutely hopeless effort of a German-speaking guy to make a German-English accent thing, kind of, I say hello and welcome you to my guide and some gameplay on the LeKpz M41 90mm, or as the French would say it, LeKpz. Oh. So, this thing is basically the same tank, or more or less the same tank as the Tier 7 M41 Bulldog, but they have put, instead of the 76mm, they have put a 90mm. And they have taken this Tier 7 tank that is, I still think despite of all the buffs, pretty useless, and they have made a pretty nice tank out of it. So, for whom is this tank? I'll just put the conclusion to the beginning. This tank, if you want to win a lot, then maybe this tank is not for you. Then maybe you could buy an IS-5 or something like that. If you want to be a bit more fast and win a lot, then this is still not for you, because then you might buy a T54 Mod 1. But if you want to have a lot of fun, then this is definitely the right tank for you, because it is, I mean, I'll put it right now, it is definitely not overpowered. It's not even the best light tank in a tier that is famous for heavies, but it's so much fun. It's really, really an amazing tank to play. So let's just go into some short stats and see some characteristics, and we can see all the Tier 8 light tanks. I put the T49 with the 90mm gun for comparisons. So we see in terms of DPM we are somewhere in the middle. Pretty good actually. The RU has clearly higher DPM. Penetration is on the standard ammo is pretty good. It's the best of them, but not by a huge margin. If we see the premium ammo, we have a pretty good heat. But I mean, the T54 lightweight is a bit weaker here, but it's not a huge difference. However, when we look at the HE, then we see something extraordinary. Both the RU251 and the LeKpz have very high HE penetration, and this is because they use the HEP, or high explosive plastic, which is basically the American name for hash. So they have very high, relatively high penetration on the HE. And what is also very interesting is that now with the HE, the LeKpz suddenly gets a higher DPM than the RU, which is strange. But if you look at the alpha, then you see why. On AP, the LeKpz has just 15 more alpha than the RU251. When you switch to HE, it gets 50 more alpha. Strange thing, I don't know why it is like that, because they have a very similar gun, both have the same caliber, but it makes a huge difference in game style, because, I mean, okay, 270 alpha is nice, but 320 alpha on a light tank, that's pretty cool. And that's why I usually, I mean, the HEP or the hash or whatever you want to call it, it's what I play this tank for. It's really, for me, this is the reason why this tank is so much fun. Let's just do a very quick comparison of the other stats. Aim time, dispersion, gun handling is pretty good, but not extraordinary. The speed is very good. Now compared to the RU251, yes, it has a better effective power to weight ratio, but for me in a light tank, where you move around and you do big position changes a lot, for me the top speed is more important. I mean, usually in tanks I say the effective power to weight is more important, but for a light tank I would say the top speed is faster, and I would say the RU251 is a more mobile tank than the LeKpz M. Armor wise, none of them has really got any apart of the T54 lightweight. Yes, what I forgot, gun depression 8 degrees, which is pretty nice. The RU has 10, but only to the sides, and as we know, to the front it's much less, and to the rear it's below 0. So stats wise, you can see it's good, it's decent, but I would say the RU is still a bit better because of its higher top speed, and probably also because of its higher DPM with standard ammo. There is another reason actually why I think that the LeKpz is a bit is not quite as good as the RU251, or by the way the T54 lightweight. It's the profile. The RU251 is extremely low. You can see it here. The gun is pretty up high in the turret, whereas the LeKpz is actually quite, I mean, it's very short, but it's quite a tall tank, and it has this huge commander's cupola. So when you are hull down and your gun shows, there will be a lot of your turret showing before your gun, before you can shoot the enemy. And that's quite a considerable weakness in my opinion that the RU doesn't have. But anyway, we have been looking at the stats, and for me there's two things that I took from the when I looked at the stats that were clear for me, and this is the high HE and the pretty good heat. So for me it's absolutely clear I'm running this tank with calibrated shells, because it will give me 10% more penetration on the HE and the heat, and this will come very, very handy when you are, I mean the heat, when you will be sniping quite a lot in this thing. I mean it's a light tank, and having more penetration on the heat is very, very handy. You will see it, sometimes I'm sniping frontally on IS tanks, and well, I'm not penning every shot, but quite a decent amount. And of course the HE, you wanna be able to pen as much as you can, like turret sides from German heavies and this kind of stuff, and there the extra 10% come in really handy. And I don't think, because you have high alpha, you don't really need DPM. I mean you're a peekaboo tank, you are not like a Comet where you need to, where you have constant, you're shooting constant, but you're really like you shoot, then you change position, then you shoot, and you don't need extremely high DPM for that. So let's finally get to some gameplay. It's not, unlike the Edelweiss video, this is not consecutive, it's just a few games that I cut together because I recorded so many of them. So this is on Rock Field. We are in the light tank, of course. The first thing I want to do is spot, and for that I either go to the left there, but I'm low tier, so I don't want to risk taking too many shots, or I go into this bush here. I should, unless I'm shooting, I should not be spotted. But as there's nothing coming there, our Leopard is going for a YOLO rush, so he's spotting everything for me, nothing else to spot here. I have some free shots on this T54, but however he kills our extraordinary stupid Leopard, and then I see, okay, now the whole team is going over there, is coming from there. I have absolutely no chance frontally against tier 9 enemies, so what shall I do? And I see there is a T54 lightweight on the other flank, and we have some tanks here towards the middle, so this T54 lightweight can be very, very uncomfortable for our team. So I decide, okay, he has lost already some hit points, so I have definitely the edge in a one-on-one. So I'm gonna, because I'm fast, I'm a support tank, I'm gonna deal with this danger for our team. So I basically just go and I have the higher DPM than him, and he gets shot even more. I put in HE because I want to be sure I kill him. I put in HE in him, and that's it. And now, on the other hand, I have this good position, and I'm all alone over here, so I can do this very, very juicy little side shots into this VK45. Unfortunately, he has too thick armor for my HEP, but even you can see, even with the AP, we do some really nice shots. Unlike the Tiger, you can see he has less side armor, and he has I have enough pen on the HE, on the HEP, to really do some nice side shots. You can see 340, 360 alpha in a light tank in tier 8 on a tier 8 heavy tank. That's pretty juicy. And so we have managed to clear this flank here. Now there's only one enemy tank left, this Leopard PTA over here. And look, this beautiful. You could see how I already loaded HE when I drove to him. You will see this all the time in the video. I always anticipate what target I am going to meet, and like what sides of this target I'm going to see, and depending on that I already preload the ammunition. So I often preload HE, I often preload heat or whatever. So generally ammunition, like taking the right ammunition in this tank is really important. And I don't like, I mean, if you can play this way, there is a mode to have like to not have to close this ammunition selector. I can't play this way. It always constantly gets into the way of my thumb, so that's why I have to be a bit more yeah, let's say think a bit more in advance, but yeah, everyone has it all as he likes. So we have another game. It's on Himmelsdorf. I had so many games on Himmelsdorf when recording these games, which is, as you might know, which is one of the worst maps for light and medium tanks, especially if you have no armor at all. So, however, you can still be a good team member. So now we see, okay, well, the enemy has about the same amount of medium, so I don't want to rush this right flank, and I don't want to like end up facing the Borsig. So I don't want to go there. I try to see, I mean, yes, you're a light tank, you're supposed to spot, but in this situation I think I rather have my heavy spot for me, and I'll just look here into the middle if I can see maybe some mediums, if I can see what the enemy team is doing. And I can see, okay, the light is spotted there on the so-called heavy flank, so why not? I immediately charge and go to this flank, and then I see the AMX. Immediately I switch to HE, and bam, 278, a low roll, but still pretty nice roll for a tier 8 light. I missed this shot, but I only get some splash damage. And now this AT-15 is coming towards me, but you can see the T-54 and we are helping our heavies because they don't have to face the AT-15 anymore, they don't have to face the AMX 1390, etc. So I see, okay, this AT-15 really is looking towards me. There's no point in trading shots with an 1815 because I will bounce quite a few of them. So I go here, oh, there is a Leopard PTA, and I immediately switch to HE, and look, 368 first shot. I put the adrenaline, and 277 the second shot. So I put out this Leopard who has over almost 700 hit points with just 2 shots. And here, look at this HE full roll, 400 alpha on a AMX on a tier 8 heavy. I mean, this is just so juicy. And here we have some pretty lucky shots. I pen every time his Commander's Cupola. I mean, yeah, it's a bit lucky, but on the other side I bounce this upper front plate of the AMX and do some more. And this is what you see. You can see how I'm almost hull down, like I just only my gun is peeking, and still the AT-15 is able to to penetrate my commander's cupola. So now that the AT-15 is again looking towards me, I change my position again, so I can see this Carnarvon is rushing my T-54, so I go and help my T-54. He puts a shot in, I put a shot in, and my team member survives, and this game is almost over. Now the 1815, who has done a good job defending his side, he is now facing again threats from multiple directions, and now it's just cleaning up. Kill the 1815, and now it's just rushing. So you could see, in the light, you should never, I mean, if you can avoid it, never face anything frontally. Just try to change position, try to be helpful to your team by making up different fronts, like flanking the enemy, forcing the enemy to change sides, to divert the attention from your main team and divert, like, look towards you, and do, of course, as much damage as you can, and if you can spot, why not? So, however, these were two pretty nice games, but why this tank, one of the reasons why this tank is so hard to drive and so hard to win, it's really, it punishes every mistake you do. And this is what we're going to see in this game. You just, especially in the beginning of the game, you just have to be very, very careful. If you are not careful, if you rush any enemy, if you are not thinking before you're driving, then you will be punished very, very severely, because you simply don't have any armor. You will not bounce any shots, or only with a lot of luck. So here I have spotted C. There is obviously nothing coming here, but the enemy mediums are trying to get B, and I think, no, I don't want to have them capping B, so I rush forward here into the middle of the enemy. Big mistake, number one. I shoot this VK, and then I do a good thing. I go away again, and then, why do I do this? I stop here, and this is just stupid. Why should I stop here in the vicinity of 3 enemy tanks? Then I miss this HE shot, but I put a nice HE roll in. But there is another medium coming here, and now I've lost all my speed. I'm here completely hopeless, bam, and I'm gone. And we lose the game. So you can see, it's yeah, don't do mistakes in this. Don't do this thing. Save your hit points for the end of the game. It's really important. If you give up hit, if you're too offensive in the beginning of too aggressive in the beginning of the game, you will not make it to the end, and you will not be useful to your team. Because in such a light tank, you will see at the end of the game you're also very useful, because you're fast, you can support flanks, you can, when you have enough hit points at the end of the game, you can use those hit points. So anyway, this is a game on Canyon. Almost every game in a light or medium tank, I try to go to this middle to spot the enemy, but I don't want to go too far up, because I see the Leopard PTA is spotting me. So I'm just waiting and trying to have a clear picture of where the enemy tanks are. I try to make a shot here, but I bounce. And okay, I see some of them are going on this left side, some of them are going on my right side, and there is a Batchat flanking very, very aggressively, very, very stupidly, and 2 HE shots, and a shot from our TDs, and he's gone. Big mistake. You should never. That's why I should never be too aggressive in a light tank. And now this KV-4 is coming here, but I know I have support from several TDs and heavies, so he's not a big deal. I do some, I mean, I should not even be trading here. I don't know why I'm doing this. That was a little mistake. I thought he had shot, he has not, so I bounce my shot, he hits me. Not the best decision ever. But now, because I know I have a faster reload, I can put the heat in him, but I get shot by the Leopard from behind, who is a very, who is a bit a pain in the ass in this game for me. So I'm here, you see, I'm really careful. I really don't want to hit lose any hit points. I used this opportunity to give a little present back to this PTA to say, hello guy, I am also here, you're not the only one who can shoot me. And then I see this VK45, look at this move, this is really nice. I see his potential one-shot, I push on him, drive a circle around him, and I'm back in my position. So this was, I mean, this is also what you can do in a light tank, especially if you have enough hit points. I mean, I don't have so many hit points left, but I could have taken a shot. And I'm back in this position, but the VK is dead. There is one less gun on the enemy team. Now I'm a bit lucky. This T-54 bounces somehow on me, but on the other hand, the luck goes on him because this shot went below his tank. Oh my god. And now I'm waiting. The Leopard really wants me, and he puts one into me. So now I'm a potential one-shot. I go even more back, even more. Luckily, this T-54 gets distracted, and now I see, okay, I'm down here. I can do nothing anymore. There are several of our tanks down here. This is not the place for a light tank, and I also don't want, because the T-44 is on the flank, he has survived, so I move away from here. Then I see this single IS-3, oh, he could be a one-shot. I tried to shoot him, but no, he survives with 2 hit points. And now again, no sense going there and trying to trade a shot with him, because he will kill me. But I see this M103, I just wait for the IS-3 to be distracted by this M103, and this is what happens now. I can see it, go forward and kill him. So you could see I was in the middle trying to spot and working the middle, but as soon as you see there is, you always have to watch the minimap, as soon as you see there is no point anymore being there, you should move, and you should be more useful on another point. And now, as I said, in the end of the game, if you're still alive in a light tank, you can really make a difference. And I helped this TD here by distracting the Leopard, and a nice HE shell into his lower front plate kills him. So you see, choosing, like, knowing when to use the HE is very, very important. I went back, I don't know if you noticed, I waited for me not to be spotted anymore, because I know the T-54 is somewhere there in the back. But I don't get hit, and now it's all about just finishing the game. I have 4 kills, so the object was very nice, suggesting that I could have the last kill, but I would have had it anyway. The T-54 shoots HE, so he's probably not a very good player, so it's not a big problem taking him out. So that's it. We do 3000 damage, 5 kills, and a nice little mastery. Oops. And pretty nice game. You can see, I mean, in the light tank, as you can see in this game, you don't have to drive around the map like crazy all the time. Sometimes it's okay if you're just if you're in a good position, just spotting up and just being distraction for the enemy. And yeah, that's it. And this game here is going to show you why sometimes it's difficult to win games in this, especially, of course, if you're alone. I mean, in a platoon it's a different thing, but if you're alone, you can see, okay, our heavies have pushed the town for whatever reason. This guy basically YOLO'd, so they are dying there, and so I want to go here. I want to support them by going from the back, being a good flanker. But there's this single T-32, and this guy alone can stop me because I have no armor. I cannot out-trade him. It's not like I cannot do a good one-on-one on him. I mean, it's not possible to circle him where he is, because probably his team will start supporting him. So it's very, very tough. And now the KV-13 comes here, and I mean, there are certain situations where you just cannot be as effective in this tank as you can be in a well-armored medium or in a heavy tank, where you can just use your armor and be much more aggressive, and hence like be of more help to your team. than in this thing. And you can see our heavies got completely wiped out. I mean, we managed to take the T-32, and now what does, I mean, okay, now we're in town. We're absolutely in a bad position for mediums or light tanks, and unfortunately my team decides to stay there, which is, you never should do that. I mean, that's why I drive away. There is absolutely no sense. Once our town division, let's say this way, is dead, there's absolutely, I have no place being there. So I go away, I go into a terrain that is more suited for fast tanks, but unfortunately my team is not as clever. So I'm here supporting this AMX. You can see I'm constantly shooting HE in this STA, doing some really nice rolls, but it's simply not enough, and I have to be a bit more aggressive, so I take these shots by the T-29. This is a horrible shot here, absolutely horrible. And now our AMX is dead. The T-49 is in the middle of the town where he really shouldn't be. So all I can do is run away, because I mean, you can see I'm being rushed by all kinds of tanks, and now the game is practically over. So what I wanted to say with this, I mean, you can see it's when your team is bad, it's pretty hard to carry this tank. I mean, you can help your team a lot, you can support it a lot, you can be a spotter, you can be a flanker, you can distract the enemy. But if your team decides to suicide and to be stupid, then it's not like in an IS tank where you can be a block for them and you can soak up enemy shots. You just, yeah, there's not so much you can do, especially as if in this game your team decides to go into an area of the map where you are weak, where your tank is weak. So the T-49 has been here, but I mean, come on, this position, you can't move, you're in a superbly fast tank, but you just can't move, so what sense is it going there? So that's a game, an unfortunate loss, even though we did pretty decent damage. But that's what I said, damage alone is not going to win you as many games as, for example, armor. The next game is a pretty nice example of how sometimes you can also, when you have a good other light tank in your team, you can also be a pretty good support tank for him. So we have this T-49 who will be doing a great job this game. British TTD, okay, whatever. So I go as usual in this map, but I'm not sure which way the enemy is going to go, because they have some mediums but mostly TDs and heavies, so I make here a pretty aggressive spot because I know no other tank will be here as fast as I am. Okay, I can see the Panther 2 is coming up. I'm not spotted. Maybe I can do a little shot on him. The T-49 puts a shot on him. Difficult, but it seems like he's alone. No shots possible. I don't want to give my position away by shooting without need. So I tried to make another spot to see if there's something more coming, and aha, okay, here they are. So no sense staying here. I'm off. Goodbye. Especially since I'm spotted. And the T-49 does the good thing as well, the sensible thing as well. He goes away. And now we see on the other flank there are some enemy tanks as well. So what do you do in a fast tank? Instead of facing some much better armored enemy, you go and support your team. But now by the time here I see there's only this Indian Panzer, he's going to be taken out anyway, so absolutely no sense for me going there as well. So I'm pushing towards the spawn of the enemy because I want to know if there's any TDs. First I wait here to be unspotted. That's always important when you're spotted. Before driving forwards in the open, make sure you're unspotted. And this T-49, he spots here this T-28, and now you can see, okay, the first shot I miss, and you can see the heat is pretty effective with the calibrated shell. I will be able to penetrate almost every shot on this T-28, which is a very well armored tank. So you can see I'm here, I'm hidden, I think I'm not even spotted. The T-49 has been spotting him for me, and I'm just shooting him. So you can see you can play this tank as a sniper as well. It's, I mean, as I said, the gun handling is not superb, but it's good enough for long distance shots, and with the heat you also have enough penetration. So now there's just a few tanks left up in the desert. I'm still not spotted. Oh, I am. I put one shot of opportunity. I mean, in this kind of gameplay, sometimes you need to shoot when you have the opportunity to shoot. You don't focus on a single enemy. You just drive around and look where you have safe shots. And that's what I'm doing here. You can see I'm still full life. I'm just driving around a bit and making some damage here, making some damage there. And the T49, I can see he is in the middle. He has driven up the enemy. So I'm just taking attention of them towards me. So you can see the T49 can put up nice shots because the torches was walking towards me. Now the Carnarvon is next. I'm just circling him, and now the T49 comes again. Or he doesn't, but I put the HE shot into him. And now the LeKpz is, yeah, he's lost. And now, of course, I will also risk taking some damage because the game is over. No sense being careful with my hit points anymore when the game is over. So goodbye LeKpz, and GG to the T49. This time he was the spotter. I was more of a support tank in the LeKpz M, but that's a role you'll be also doing. If it's not necessary to be offensive, why should you do? If you have good shots, if you have shots where you can shoot the enemy without him shooting you, why not? Do it. So next map is on Yamato, next game is on Yamato. The T44 unfortunately is a pain in the A. And I go and do the spot. I want to see if the enemy team is coming this way. I see, okay, at least a few tanks are. The T44 is again, he blocked me, and thank you, sir. I am, of course, being nice to him, but he deserves it. And now I'm just trying to hold this position. The T44 here is in a very bad spot because he will be having shots against him from both sides. Unfortunately, I don't know why our object 704 has pushed up so far, and this is going to be a problem in this game because you see the part of the enemy is at A. RTDs, one of RTDs has pushed up here, so we're almost all team in this one spot, a part of the ISA who decided to suicide in A. And we are completely giving up map control. I mean, I am working here, I am doing some nice damage. You see I switched to HE, but it was not necessary anyway. I know there's a T30 there, so I can't be too aggressive. But even here, look, the IS-6 is coming, and I'm doing some shots with some nice heat. But you can see even the our second TD, the T30, has pushed up. Now we have completely given up map control, and now what happens is, of course, we get shot from all sides, from the town, from our own spawn. So basically all I can do now is trying to break through here. I want our team to push through here because here we're kind of safe. So that's why I rushed this chieftain. I hope, of course, I get support by our team. And now, as you see, I always try to get into positions where I can use my HE. So I will be quite pushy towards heavy to get to their backs. But however, unfortunately, not all our team has been pushing up. So they just die. The enemy has gained complete map control. They have been flanking us and killing us. So yeah, I managed full speed pass on this T30, but the game is almost lost. I mean, yeah, what can I do? RTDs are both one shot. I try to, again, I think first, okay, wait, should I take this cap? Then I think, no, it's It's not good, it's no use, and I see that this game is lost anyway, so I just try to help these two TDs, but unfortunately they don't manage to survive long enough. So this is only about doing some more damage, and the game is lost. So again, you can see if your team, I mean, maybe I could have been more aggressive, but on the other hand, there was a T30. If he shoots HE into me, I lose 900 hit points or more. I mean, yeah, it's to a certain degree you can just support as good as you can, and in some situations you just can't carry the game. So you see, we did a lot of damage, we did well, but simply we could not push enough. And so I think this is the last game that I'm going to comment on. It's a pretty interesting game because it's being on a flank. When you're on a flank and you are in this kind of situation with these hills, it's so important to have situational awareness. You will see I am constantly looking to my back, to my front, because there will be reds on all sides of me, and I'll be always trying to position myself in a way that I'm not getting hit. And yeah, you'll see. Just watch the game. As usual, I made a first spot in this bush up there. Now we've seen, okay, the enemy is pushing up, but we also have quite a lot of support. So now I'm looking if I can trade some shots, maybe. This TD has pushed up quite aggressively. So I see, okay, we are slowly getting flanked on the left, so I try to be a bit more aggressive on the right, because of course I cannot stop the flank. I'm a light tank, I have no armor, but I can be a bit more, I can at least see that the guys like the Centurion here and the, I think it's an IS-6 up there, or IS-5 up there, that they are not getting side shots on their team. So I'm on this flank here. Oh, what is this guy doing? And I'm not pushing, I'm just stopping these guys. And look, I look always behind me, constantly look behind me. I see, okay, there's these two DDs, but they have no shots on me at the moment. Now this RU is pushing, so I'm going back, and you can see he was exactly trying to outflank me, but luckily I was looking at my minimap and managed to deny his flanking maneuver. Now I can see, okay, the Su-152 is pushing very aggressively behind me, so I need to push forward. I need to take out this Centurion. You can see I always look to my back. I'm just wiggling there and back and trying to somehow survive. Now the Jagd Panther comes here. Luckily the IS-5 gets taken out. The Jagd Panther, I just circle him, but I don't shoot him. I shoot the guy behind him. I put an HE in him, but now I see this ISU is one shot, so I go and kill it. I leave the Jagd Panther alone, and I eat some really nasty shots, but I can take out the Bulldog. The Jagd Panther gets taken out, and phew, in this huge showdown we end up 3 versus 1. So this is almost won. Now I do a huge mistake. I underestimate the traverse of this AMX TD, but it doesn't matter because we have 2 almost full life tanks. We have the caps on our side, and this game is won. So I think it was a really fun game. It showed how you can actually, if you're really careful, if you really have a good eye on the map, if you try to always know your situation, then you can prevail even in a light tank, even in this kind of situations where it's more or less close combat. But yeah, the RU did a great job. I mean, it really did well. I mean, this flank maneuver was very well intended, but luckily I was able to counter it. So I think That's the last game I'm going to comment on. I just have some 25 minutes more gameplay, so if you like, just keep on watching. There's going to be some pretty decent games as well. As I said, it's a very fun tank. The most important things I can tell you is try to preserve your hit points. Don't trade at the beginning of the game with, especially not with high alpha tanks. Use your ammunition wisely. It's very important to use AP, heat and HE in the right moments, and just basically the most important thing is enjoy your tank. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun, and just keep enjoying it. And I can just recommend, if you, I think now it's on sale. If you have the cash, just buy it. There's not much more fun to be had in a tier 8 premium tank. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions, any comments, if you think I'm talking too much, if you didn't like my introduction, then just leave a comment, and I'll be probably putting up some more videos like this somewhere in the future. So keep tuned. If you want, subscribe. If you don't. Have fun. Thanks, guys, and cheers.
Punched right through their armor. We nailed them back. Take down our driver. We're covering this position, but not very well. Enemy armor is destroyed. Let's go! We got him! vehicle destroyed. Nice shot! Enemy armor is damaged. Nice shot! That's gotta hurt. We got him! Critical hit! Time to roll out. Nice shot! Punched right through their armor. They're hit. Truck hit. Another one like that should finish them. They're hit. Gotcha.